All right, let's get one thing straight. I don't take bullshit from anybody. Not my boss, not the creepy guy at the grocery store, and definitely not from some badge-flashing wannabe cowboy who thinks he owns the damn streets. But guess what? The universe has a sick sense of humor, and now I'm sitting in the back of a police car, hands cuffed, watching two smug-ass cops high-five like they just won the Super Bowl. I'm Andrea Andy Wilson, 32 years old, tired as hell, pissed as hell, and not in the mood for this bullshit. How did I get here? Buckle up, because this story is about to take a sharp turn into crazy town. It was supposed to be a regular night, one beer, maybe two, then straight home to pretend I care about whatever garbage Netflix decided to recommend me. Instead, I walked into a hole-in-the-wall dive bar, the kind where the bartender's been there since Prohibition and the neon sign outside flickers like it's having a seizure. Perfect place to drink in peace, right? Wrong. The second I step in, I already feel eyes on me. That's nothing new. Being a black woman in a mostly white bar is like wearing a neon sign that says, "Go ahead, judge me, I fucking dare you." I order a beer, lean back, try to ignore the hillbilly soundtrack playing on the jukebox. That's when they walk in. Two cops, matching buzz cuts, matching stupid-ass grins. Ray and Ron Miller, the twin terror of this town. If you're black, you know them. If you're not, congratulations, your life has been slightly easier. These two have been on a power trip since high school, and the police department just gave them badges to make it legal. They spot me immediately. Their eyes light up like they just found a coupon for free donuts. "Oh, look, it's the neighborhood troublemaker," Ray sneers, leaning against the bar like he owns the place. "She lost?" Ron adds, tilting his head like I'm a damn stray dog. I take a slow sip of my beer, pretending they don't exist, because the moment you react, they win. And I am not in the mood to let these assholes win. Unfortunately, that's when Captain Drunken Stupid decides to stumble into my night. Some sloppy dude, reeking of cheap whiskey, lurches up next to me and slaps his greasy-ass hand on my shoulder. "Hey, sweetheart, you look lonely." I barely have time to roll my eyes before his other hand decides to try and get friendly with my thigh. I snap. Reflex. Pure instinct. I grab his wrist and twist. Hard. Something cracks. He howls. His beer spills all over his shirt. And suddenly the entire bar is looking at us. And just like that, shit goes straight to hell. The guy stumbles back, cursing. But before I can even process what the hell just happened, Ray and Ron are already on me. "Assault on a civilian," Ray shouts, loud enough for the whole bar to hear. "Damn shame," Ron adds, shaking his head. "We tried to give her a chance." Before I can even open my mouth, I feel the cold snap of handcuffs on my wrists. "Are you out of your goddamn minds?" I snarl, struggling as they yank me towards the exit. "Whoa now," Ray smirks, gripping my arm way too tight. "No need to get feisty." I look at the bartender, at the other customers. Nobody moves, nobody says a word. Because why would they? It's just another black woman getting arrested for something that wasn't her fault. I'm shoved into the back of their squad car, the door slams, and I hear them laughing as they walk to the front. I lean my head back, take a deep breath. This is some next-level bullshit. But you know what? This ain't over. Not by a long shot. So here I am, sitting in this stale-ass, cold-as-hell courtroom, hands folded neatly in my lap like a good little defendant, listening to two of the biggest bullshitters in law enforcement history spin their Oscar-worthy sob story. Ray and Ron Miller, a.k.a. the dynamic duo of lies and corruption, are standing in front of the judge, puffing out their chests like they're war heroes fresh off the battlefield. I swear if they had American flags draped over their shoulders and dramatic music playing in the background, it wouldn't be out of place. "She was aggressive," Ray starts, shaking his head, looking like a concerned suburban dad talking about teenage crime. "She resisted arrest," Ron adds, voice so fake sincere I almost choke on my own spit. "And then, the cherry on this shit sundae, she was a threat to public safety." Oh, get the fuck out of here. I feel my fingernails dig into my palms, but I keep my face blank because that's what they want, right? They want me to snap, to yell, to prove their racist little fairy tale true. Not today, motherfuckers. The judge, some crusty old white guy who looks like he's been doing this since the Civil War, adjusts his glasses and nods like he's actually buying this crap. I glance at my public defender. The dude looks bored as hell, like he's wondering what's for lunch. I swear to God, he hasn't looked me in the eye once since this whole thing started. "Ms. Wilson, do you have anything to say for yourself?" the judge finally asks, peering at me over his glasses. "Yeah, I have plenty to say. Like the fact that the bar had security cameras that somehow malfunctioned right after I got arrested. Or that the so-called victim, the drunken idiot who put his hands on me, isn't even in court today. Or maybe how these two crooked-ass cops have been harassing black folks in this town for years, and everyone just looks the other way. But you know what? None of that's gonna matter in this rigged-ass system. So I just sit there, silent, calm, smirking just enough to piss them off. I see it, that flicker of frustration in Ray's face, that moment of uncertainty in Ron's eyes. They expected me to lose my shit, to scream, to cry. Instead, I look bored, and that scares them more than anything. The prosecutor clears his throat and shuffles his papers like he actually has something important to say. "We have ample testimony from the officers," he drones, like this is some slam-dunk case. And with no counter-evidence, it seems clear that Ms. Wilson engaged in disorderly conduct, assault, and boom! The courtroom doors swing open so hard they damn near come off the hinges. Every head in the room snaps around. And that's when I see him. A tall, older man in a flawless black suit, his polished shoes clicking against the tile like a damn executioner walking in. His presence is so sharp, it cuts the air in half. "Apologies for the interruption, Your Honor," he says, his voice smooth as aged whiskey. Judge Krusty raises an eyebrow. "And you are?" The man adjusts his gold cufflinks like he has all the time in the world. Then he looks directly at the Miller twins, and I swear I see Ray's face lose 2 shades of color. "My name is Robert Hoffman. I represent the interests of the defendant." Wait, what? My so-called public defender suddenly looks like he wants to disappear under the desk. "Mr. Hoffman," the judge sighs, "you realize this trial is already in progress?" "I do," Hoffman replies, flashing a charming but dangerous smile. "I also realize that the prosecution's case is based on a steaming pile of fabricated bullshit." Holy shit. I glance at the Miller twins. Their faces are frozen. Ron swallows hard. Ray shifts uncomfortably. "Yeah, that's right, assholes. You just lost control of this little show. You ever watch one of those courtroom dramas where the lawyer strolls in at the last second and drops some bombshell evidence that makes everyone lose their shit? Yeah, that just happened. But this ain't no scripted TV show. This is my real-ass life. And right now, 2 of the cockiest cops in town just went from smug to shook in record time. Robert Hoffman, tall, slick, dressed like he just walked out of a billion-dollar merger, stands there like he owns the room. His voice, smooth as butter, but sharp as a blade. "I have new evidence to present to the court," he says, casually adjusting his gold cufflinks like this is just another Tuesday. Judge Krusty, who has spent the past hour pretending like this trial isn't a total joke, leans forward, clearly irritated. "Mr. Hoffman, this is highly irregular. So is convicting someone on manufactured testimony and missing evidence." Hoffman cuts in, and boom, you can feel the whole damn courtroom shift. I steal a glance at Ray and Ron Miller. They're not smirking anymore. In fact, Ray looks like he just swallowed a bag of nails, and Ron's starting to sweat through his department-issued tie. Hoffman moves with deadly precision, walking straight to the judge's bench and placing a USB drive on the table, like he's casually dropping the nuke that's about to blow this whole case to hell. "This contains unedited security footage from the night of my client's arrest." Wait, what? Hold the hell up. The security cameras at the bar, the ones that were supposedly malfunctioning, that footage was gone. Or at least that's what the Miller twins wanted everyone to believe. Now it's right here, sitting on a flash drive with their names written all over the crime. I lean back, arms crossed, watching these 2 power-tripping clowns try to keep their poker faces. Ron blinks first. "That footage is legally obtained," Hoffman interrupts smoothly, "straight from the bar owner's personal server. Turns out not every establishment in this town is as corrupt as your police department." "Oh, shit." The courtroom gasps. The prosecutor turns ghost white. Judge Krusty suddenly looks 10 years younger, like he just realized he might actually have to do his job today. And the Miller twins? They look like they're about to throw up. Hoffman gestures to the USB like it's a loaded gun, which honestly it kinda is. "This footage will show that my client did not initiate any violence, that she was harassed by an intoxicated patron, defended herself appropriately, and was then unlawfully arrested by 2 officers who," he turns his head, locking eyes with Ray and Ron, "chose to delete the evidence rather than tell the truth." Ray opens his mouth, probably to spit out some desperate excuse, but Hoffman's not done yet. And before you try to argue that this is somehow inadmissible," he pulls out a second document from his briefcase, "I should mention that Internal Affairs already has a copy." Oh my God, did this man just say Internal Affairs? These idiots are done. The air in the courtroom changes. The jurors, who had been looking half asleep for most of this trial, are now wide-eyed and fully alert. The prosecutor looks like he wants to disappear. Judge Krusty lets out a slow, deep sigh, like he just realized this mess is way above his pay grade. And the Miller twins? They're straight up panicking. Ray grips the table like it's a lifeboat on the Titanic. Ron literally looks at the exit, as if he's thinking about making a run for it. But there's nowhere to go. They're trapped. I let out the slowest, pettiest smirk of my life. Your Honor, Hoffman says, voice cool as ice, I move to dismiss all charges against my client immediately. The judge glances at the prosecutor, who just throws up his hands like, I got nothing. A few seconds tick by. Then, motion granted, the judge says, banging his gavel. Ms. Wilson, you're free to go. And just like that, it's over. Well, for me anyway. For the Miller twins, their nightmare's just getting started. The courtroom went from a rigged game to instant karma in record time. 1 minute, the Miller twins were standing tall, thinking they had this in the bag. The next, pale as corpses, watching their entire careers burn in front of them. Hoffman casually dropped the USB drive on the judge's desk like it was nothing. This contains unedited security footage proving my client's innocence. The judge perked up. The prosecutor looked like he needed a drink. And the Miller twins, sweating bullets. Ray stammered, This is a setup, Hoffman smirked. Then you won't mind a full federal investigation into your arrests? Boom, checkmate. And then, the doors swung open. 2 men in suits walked in. And in the middle, Agent Daniels. If you know law enforcement, you know you don't survive a visit from Daniels. He didn't waste time. Officers Miller, you are under investigation for evidence tampering, obstruction of justice, and abuse of power. Click. Handcuffs locked. Ron panicked. This isn't right. Daniels didn't blink. Funny. Pretty sure that's what Ms. Wilson was thinking the night you arrested her. The entire courtroom froze. I sat back, arms crossed, enjoying every second of these two clowns getting dragged out like the criminals they are. 1 week later, headlines everywhere. Twin officers arrested in major corruption scandal. Decades of misconduct uncovered. Then Hoffman calls. The department's offering a settlement to avoid a lawsuit. I sip my coffee, smirk. Tell them to add a few more zeros, then we'll talk. They made me their problem. Now I'm theirs.